Okay, guys. So I'm gonna ask you guys to look at the image. We all went outside just now. We took several images around our building, right? And this elevation of this is the building we're in, building 13. The elevation that we're looking at contains a door up here at the top. We exited out of that door, and there's a staircase there. I want you guys to tell me. So I don't know. I guess I'll ask somebody to tell me. To compare this elevation to that elevation, and tell me what the difference is. Stephen, what's the difference between these two elevations? That one and that one. You all took these pictures, right? Okay. So, Stephen, what do you think? What do you see as the big difference?
No stairs.
No stairs? I see stairs.
And the door and second level.
So that's what you see is that what? So you see you see doors, but are there doors on both elevations?
Yeah.
There is. So then, what's the difference? You can't tell the difference? They look the same? Okay, somebody else? Mr. McElroy, what is the difference between that elevation there and that one or that?
The other one's it's flat and level, and this one's on a slope.
So that's the main thing that you see. Like the key thing between those two elevations that you see is the slope.
Yeah.
And Stephen, the main thing you see was what was it?
The stair level between the door.
The stairs between the doors?
No, I mean the door. And the second level and first level.
Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, all right. So who else? Pat, how about you? So here, I'll put it up right there, and then let me see if I can open two of them at the same time. There's one. And let me find the other one. The other one's this thing. I think I'll shrink it down. Right? So we're looking at both of them. Yes? All right. So compare. There we are. There's two of them right in front of us for comparative reasons. So, what are they different or are they the same? Gabby? ¿Igual o distinto? ¿Por qué?
En una siento que el volumen está más concentrado hacia arriba y en otra más hacia los lados.
¿Otra vez?
Que en una siento que el volumen está más concentrado hacia arriba y en otra es hacia los lados.
¿La altura?
Sí.
La altura es casi igual. So Gabby's saying that the height is different, and I think she means proportions.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so proportions, there are some differences in proportions. Let me ask you all a question. Would any of you confuse the image on the right as the main entrance to the building instead of the one to the left? No? Anybody? Would anybody confuse the image on the right as being the main entrance instead of the one on the left? No? Why? Now this becomes the important part. Why would none of you confuse the one on the right side as not being the main entrance? Why would you say that? Why would you say the other one is the main entrance?
It has a big grand entrance and lots of doors.
So a big grand entrance. By that, do you mean this big wall of glass? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so a big wall of glass, right?
A big atrium.
It's not an atrium. Be very careful on that word because that word comes from the Greek, and I believe it means open to the sky. So you mean a large two-story volume.
Yeah.
Okay. But there's a two-story piece. They're almost the same height over here, but you can tell because that one's glass from top to bottom, with the exception of that little band, that that's an entrance.
Yeah.
There's something there signifying an entrance, right? How about the little overhang over all those doors? There's a lot of doors there, 6 doors, right? There's like a little overhang that sticks out past them, right? That kind of tells you maybe also that it's an entrance. So let's compare, let's take a look at a couple of other things. So that one, about the same height, but there's no glass there, right? How about that? Does that look like an entry door to you? Why? What's different between these 3 doors and the other doors?
Solid.
What's the difference to you? What do you see as a big difference?
They're not appealing to the eye.
They're not very appealing, that's true. What makes them less appealing than the other doors?
The color, and that maybe there's no shapes around it that define it.
That's a good observation. There's no shapes around it, right? Basically, those are 3 openings and a blank wall. There's no overhang. There's like no kind of porch area or like a stepping area in front of it. I like Ryan's topic also that they're not glass, that they're solid, okay? But all of you unequivocally said that the image on the left looks like the main entrance, the one that I put up initially on the left side or the right side, and this one does not look like a main entrance. Is that correct? So when you guys are defining your bus terminal, right? When you're designing your bus terminal, and you know that everybody all of the visitors that are coming to your bus terminal are going to park in the parking lot in front, or they're going to be dropped off in the drop-off area that's up front. These pictures might give you a visual clue of how you might orient your building, how you might tell them, this is the entrance over here, not something else. Yes? Okay, so that becomes a very important distinction because right now, you guys, I'm asking you guys to approach this thing in sort of a staged fashion. The very first thing that I asked you guys to engage is the buses, because the buses are big. The buses are going to use up a lot of your site area because you need to have a driveway for them, and that's going to be a big part of your site. And you're going to have to park them and put a canopy over them. That's going to be a big part of your site, right? And there's a functional reason for where you place them. They have to be placed far enough away from the entrance to where if one's backing out and one's pulling in, they don't cause an accident, right? So there needs to be enough room for a bus to pull in, get off the street, and let the cars keep going up and down the street without being hit by a bus that's backing up. Does that make sense? So you all know that. And so that was the very first thing that I asked you guys to do, is to come up with a layout that shows me that the buses can get off the street, that there's room for them to get onto the property without another bus backing into it. And you were asked to do it from both directions. Now, once you do that, there's leftover areas of the developable portion of the site, which is where now you can place your building. So all of you guys are going to be designing some sort of a polygonal building like the one that I'm holding here. Okay, like the ones we've been designing and kind of working with. So let me ask you all a question, okay? I'm holding this polygonal forms project that we did that was kind of turned into an L shape or a V shape. Which of these elevations that I'm showing you on this model that I'm holding, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop that. I'm going to use the video recorder so that way we can segue into this.